Hey there, and welcome. In this explainer, we're going to get you set up with some super useful tools for talking about who you are in English. You know, what you like, what you don't, and even what you dream about. Sound good? Let's jump right in.
So think about it for a sec. It can be a little intimidating, right? You want to make a connection with somebody, but what's the best way to get that conversation rolling and really find out what they're all about?
It all comes down to this one simple question. It's so friendly, it's not pushy, and it's honestly the perfect way to learn about someone's personality. And today, we're going to make sure you can answer it like a pro.
All right, so let's get started with the absolute basics. When someone asks you that golden question, your go-to answer is going to start with just two simple words. I like.
Now, here's a cool thing about English. When you're talking about an action you like, you've got options. You can say, I like to read, or you can say, I like reading. And guess what? Both of them are 100% correct. The most important thing is just to pick whichever one feels more comfortable for you.
And you can use this phrase for pretty much anything. Whether you like to read storybooks, you're into walking in the park, you like to watch movies, play football, or meet up with your friends, it just works. This is your foundation for talking about your interests.
But, what if like just doesn't feel like a strong enough word? Sometimes you feel way more than just like for something. Well, English has some awesome words to show a little more passion. Let's build on this.
I want you to picture it like a ladder of emotion, okay? At the very bottom, you've got like. That's good. You take one step up and you've got enjoy, which is even stronger. And right at the top, for the things you're really passionate about, you have love. So let's zoom in on that middle step, enjoy. It's a great word, really adds more feeling. But there is one little grammar tip to keep in mind. When you use enjoy with an action, you almost always need to use the ing form of that verb. So you'd say, I enjoy reading.
For instance, when Sara says she enjoys reading in the morning with her coffee, you can almost feel that cozy, relaxing moment, can't you? It's definitely more than just a like. It's a whole vibe. And here's another great example from David. He enjoys cooking, and he even gets specific. He enjoys making pasta. You can really hear the passion in that, right? He doesn't just like it. He gets real joy from doing it.
Okay, now for the top of our ladder. For those things, those activities, those people that you are just incredibly passionate about. The word you're looking for is love. This is for the really big stuff.
Listen to this from Sara. She doesn't just like pop music, she loves it. It actually has a physical effect on her. It makes her want to dance. See, that's the kind of powerful emotional connection that the word love gets across.
And you can love so many things. Music, movies, traveling, your favorite hobbies, people, animals, amazing food. I mean, who doesn't love chocolate? And, of course, the weekend. It's a huge word for your biggest passions. Okay, but let's be real. Life isn't all about things we love and enjoy. It's just as important to be able to talk about the things you, don't like. It's another huge part of showing people who you really are.
And you know what the best part is? It is so easy. You literally just take I like and you stick one little word right in front of it. Don't. So I like coffee becomes I don't like tea. It's that simple to say you're not a fan of something. So you could say something like, I don't really like shopping for clothes. Or you could talk about someone else. He doesn't like washing the dishes. I mean, let's be honest, who does? Or you can talk about something more general, like, I just don't like cold weather.
All right, so we've covered the present, what you like and dislike right now. But what about the future? How do you start talking about your hopes, your ambitions, and your big dreams? Well, for that, we've got another really powerful phrase, I would love to. This is your absolute key to talking about all the amazing things you hope to do someday. Maybe you've got that travel bug, so you'd say, oh, I would love to visit Italy, or I would love to visit Japan. Or maybe you want to pick up a new skill, like I would love to learn to play the guitar, or I would love to learn how to speak Spanish. This one little phrase opens up a whole world of possibilities. Woo! Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. So let's just pull everything together for a quick summary. Think of this as your brand new toolkit for expressing yourself in English. Here it is, all in one place. For general positive feelings, use I like. To kick it up a notch, go with I enjoy. Remember that ing form. For your biggest passions, it's I love. To talk about things you're not a fan of, I don't like. And for all those future goals, I would love to. This is your cheat sheet right here. And just like that, you're equipped. You now have the core phrases you need to really share your personality and connect with people on a whole new level. But here's the deal. Knowing this stuff is only half the battle. The real magic happens when you actually use it. So the best advice is this: practice is everything. Challenge yourself to use one or two of these phrases in a real conversation this week. That's how they'll really stick. So let's finish right where we started. I'm going to throw that first question right back at you. Now it's your turn to answer. Take a moment, think about it with your new tools. What do you like to do? What do you enjoy? What do you love? Go ahead and share it.
Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, our mission, really, is to explore something that seems simple, but is actually surprisingly subtle. We're talking about expressing preferences in English, likes and dislikes. We're going beyond just the words themselves. We want to look at the grammar, the structures, and how they signal the intensity of what you like or enjoy or maybe even love.
Exactly. It's such a fundamental communication skill, isn't it? And our source material, which focuses on these common structures and lots of real-world examples, it really shows that picking the right verb and the right form of the verb, well, it's not just about being correct. It's about expressing your personality, really, making yourself understood properly.
Yeah, and it all seems to kick off from that one super common question you hear all the time.
What do you like to do?
Right. The question just opens everything up. And the basic answer, the core structure we all learn first, is I like.
Mm-hmm.
But like straight away, we bump into this first bit of nuance, don't we?
Yeah.
It's about what comes after like.
Precisely. When you're talking about an action, English gives you two main ways to go. You can say, I like to read, using the infinitive form, to plus the verb.
Okay.
Or you can say, I like reading, using the being form, the gerund. And importantly, both are perfectly fine grammatically. But, and this is the key thing from the sources, native speakers often use them with slight differences, maybe in focus or feeling.
Okay, this is where we need to dig in a bit, move beyond just the textbook rule, right?
Yeah.
Why have both? When would you actually choose I like reading over I like to read, or vice versa?
Well, what seems fascinating here is the focus, as I said. When you use the gerund I like reading, you're often talking about the activity more generally, like as an ongoing thing you appreciate. It sort of describes the activity itself as the source of pleasure. For instance, the example given is I like reading in the morning with my coffee. It emphasizes that whole routine, that relaxing feeling of the habit.
Ah, okay. That makes sense. It feels more general, maybe, continuous. Like if I say I like running, I probably mean I enjoy the activity of running in general.
That's a great way to put it. Correct. Now, if you switch it up to the infinitive, I like to run, sometimes, that can imply a more specific choice, perhaps. Or even a planned action, even if the general feeling is the same. Like, I like to run in the park near my house every Tuesday. See? More specific. Mm-hmm. Or it could just be a slightly broader preference, maybe not tied to a strict habit. I like to read whenever I have a chance. But yeah, the gerund, the being form, often feels like the stronger default when you're just expressing general enjoyment of an ongoing activity.
Got it. Wow. Okay, so just that one point, the subtle difference there between general appreciation and maybe a more specific choice that already takes this way beyond just basic vocab lists. So, all right, we've got the like baseline established, but, people feel things differently, right? With different levels of passion. If we only ever said, I like, everything would sound kind of flat.
Exactly. You need the vocabulary to turn up the volume, so to speak. Think of it like a mixing board for your feelings, like is your comfortable starting level. Now, to increase that intensity, the sources bring in the middle tier, I enjoy.
I enjoy, yeah, that immediately sounds stronger, doesn't it? More appreciative. If you enjoy something, it feels like you genuinely get satisfaction from it. You look forward to it. Definitely a step up from just like.
It is, and interestingly, this is where the grammar gets a bit more rigid, which actually kind of helps. With enjoy, the rule pretty much locks you into using the being form, the gerund. It simplifies things. You have to say, I enjoy walking in the park, or I enjoy drinking coffee in the morning. You wouldn't typically say, I enjoy to walk.
Ah, okay, so enjoy needs the ing.
Mostly, yes. That structural choice, the gerund, it kind of reinforces that feeling of an ongoing, appreciated activity. It's like a linguistic signal for that continuous enjoyment. The sources give examples like, I enjoy cooking, and even get specific, like enjoying making a simple tomato sauce pasta.
That connection is interesting.
Yeah.
But let me push back just a tiny bit, thinking about how people actually talk. The sources say enjoy is clearly stronger than like. But sometimes, in everyday chat, doesn't enjoy sound a little, I don't know, formal or maybe reserved? Don't lots of people just jump from like straight to the really strong word?
That's a really fair point. Enjoy does carry a certain politeness, maybe, a genuine appreciation. It's great for talking about hobbies or, thanking someone I really enjoyed the meal. Very useful socially. But you're absolutely right. When real passion kicks in, we hit the top level, the maximum setting on that mixing board I love.
Okay, love. Or like is the baseline, and enjoy is turning it up a bit. Love is like peak volume. It means you like something very, very much, as the source puts it. It's for the big stuff.
Exactly. Big concepts like I love music or I love weekends, I love dogs, things you feel strongly about.
And works for actions too, right? Using the same grammar options as like.
Yes, similar flexibility there. You can say, I love to listen to pop music, or I love listening to pop music. Both work to express that top tier affinity.
Okay, brilliant. So having that ability to switch between these three, like enjoy, love, that's the key insight here, isn't it? Now we've kind of got the tools to apply this intensity scale to more complex, real situations, which is where conversations actually happen.
That's the goal. Let's move into that application. How does this play out when we talk about everyday things?
Okay, let's take segment 3 then. Applying these shades of meaning. Entertainment is a huge one. People always talk about movies, music. Our sources had a great contrast there.
Yeah, take movies. Someone might say, oh, I like funny movies, comedies. They're good for relaxing after work. That's a pleasant general preference. Fits perfectly.
Standard stuff. But then, maybe for a different genre, they ramp it up. They might say, but I love action movies, especially the ones with like fast cars and big adventures. Using love, there signals something much deeper, right? More excitement, more active, seeking out of that genre compared to just casually watching a comedy.
Absolutely. That clarity is so important if you're trying to decide what movie to watch with someone or give a recommendation. Tells you what they're really passionate about. And the same thing happens with music, maybe even more personally. You might get, I love listening to pop music, which suggests energy, maybe dancing, something upbeat. But then someone else could use the exact same intensity verb, love, for a totally different vibe. Oh, I love listening to jazz. It's just so relaxing.
Right. The verb love is identical, but the reason energetic versus relaxing paints a completely different picture of the person's taste, their mood. It's not just what you like, it's the why and how much.
And let's shift this into practical life stuff. Shopping. The sources had a really good example around shopping, because shopping isn't just one thing, is it?
Definitely not. One person might immediately go negative about one type. Ugh, I don't love shopping for clothes. You can be so tiring trying things on. The feeling, the fatigue, is part of why they don't love it.
Yeah, that don't love is interesting too, maybe softer than hate. But then that same person might use a milder positive for another kind of shopping. Maybe they like shopping for books. Browsing is calm. It's enjoyable in a low-key way.
Or they like shopping for food, specifically finding fresh vegetables and fruit, because maybe that feels healthy, productive, rewarding.
See, that nuance completely changes how you see the person. They're not just anti-shopping. They have specific preferences, specific feelings tied to different versions of the activity. It really shows that, isn't just one block category. It depends heavily on the context.
For sure. And we see this with nature too, right? Seasons, weather.
Someone might use the strongest word, love, for their favorite season. I love summer. You know, the long sunny days, being outside, that tells you they probably prefer warmth, maybe being active.
But then another person could use the exact same intensity, I love autumn, but for completely different reasons. And they'd add the detail. I love the beautiful colors of the trees, their reds, yellows, oranges.
And that detail is everything. It flows right into weather preferences too, which are super common. I like sunny days. Simple enough. I don't like rainy days. Also clear.
These little details, the why behind the preference, the specific colors of the leaves, using like for books but don't love for clothes, that's what makes conversation rich, doesn't it? It moves you past just, yeah, I like summer, into actually connecting with someone's experience.
Totally agree. That's the core of this deep dive, really. Understanding those subtle shifts.
Okay, so we've covered the whole positive range, from like to enjoy to love. But life isn't all positive, and conversations aren't either. We need ways to say what we don't like. We need the negative. Thankfully, the grammar here is pretty straightforward, isn't it?
Oh, it's beautifully simple. To make these preference statements negative, you generally just add don't before the verb like. I don't like to play sports. I don't like tea. I don't like cold weather. It's consistent, which is a relief.
Yeah, that consistency helps a lot. Okay, one more crucial area before we wrap things up. Sometimes we're not talking about current preferences, but about future hopes, dreams, things we wish we can do. How do we express that?
Yes. For that, there's a specific, really useful structure I would love to. This phrase is powerful. It's aspirational. It signals a strong desire, maybe a future plan, a goal you're aiming for. It takes that top-tier intensity love and projects it onto something you haven't achieved yet.
Right. And the sources gave some great examples, especially around travel, which is a classic topic for aspirations.
And they were specific, which helps. Not just, I'd love to travel more.
Exactly. It was more like, I would love to visit Italy. And then the reason, specifically for the food, that makes it so much more concrete. Or, I would love to visit Japan, because it's meant to be beautiful and I really want to experience the culture. The why is key again.
And it's not just travel. It applies just as well to skills, personal growth, ambitions. I would love to learn how to speak Spanish. That's a clear goal. Or I would love to learn to play the guitar. It frames a future project as something you'd be really passionate about pursuing.
Okay, this is all coming together nicely. To really cement this, let's try that Alex challenge from the source material. The idea is to build a picture of a third person, Alex, using this whole range of structures we've talked about, likes, loves, dislikes.
Perfect. It's a great way to check. We've got the grammar right, especially with actions, the infinitive versus the gerund. Okay, let's start with Alex's morning routine.
All right. Source says, Alex likes to wake up early. Okay, simple positive. Uses like plus the infinitive to wake up, suggesting a regular choice or habit.
Good. And then, Alex loves drinking orange juice for breakfast. Okay, here we have loves high intensity, followed by the gerund, drinking, maximum enjoyment of a regular part of the routine.
But it's not all positive, is it? Alex doesn't like coffee. Straightforward negative, simple aversion, don't like.
Right. Moving on to the evening. Alex loves to cook dinner. Again, loves showing strong positive feeling, this time using the infinitive to cook. Shows a real appreciation for the process.
And then comes the contrast, the bit almost everyone can relate to. Alex doesn't like washing the dishes. That one sentence perfectly nails it, doesn't it? Using doesn't like to draw a clear line between the enjoyable part cooking and the chore that follows cleaning up.
It absolutely does. That little profile of Alex really shows how these different structures work together, interchangeably almost, to give you a full, detailed, and nuanced picture of someone's preferences and dislikes.
Okay, fantastic. We have covered a lot of ground here. We went from the absolute basic structure all the way through to these more nuanced applications in real life. So just to quickly recap for everyone listening, we scaled the intensity.
We started with the foundation, and we highlighted that subtle but important choice between using the infinitive, like to do something, or the gerund, like doing something.
But we ramped it up to I enjoy, noting that this one almost always pairs with the V-ing form, the gerund.
And we hit the peak with I love, the strongest expression of preference.
We also covered the simple negative I don't like and that really useful future-focused phrase I would love to.
Right.
So wrapping this all up, what does this actually mean for you, the listener, trying to improve your English or just communicate better? These aren't just phrases to memorize from a list. They're tools, right? Communication tools. When you're listening to someone talk about what they like, try to tune in to not just what they're saying, but the intensity word they choose, like enjoy, love,
Exactly, because that difference, loving jazz because it's relaxing versus loving pop because it's energetic, that tells you so much more about the person. It helps you find things you have in common or understand where your tastes differ. That's how you build real connection, getting beyond just surface chat.
And maybe one final thought to leave you with. Our source material really highlighted that it's perfectly okay, normal, even to like different things. Some people love the cold, others can't stand it. Some like browsing bookshops. Others find clothes shopping exhausting. Tea versus coffee. Sunny days versus rainy days.
Yeah, think about that. Acknowledging those differences and actually having the right words, the right verbs, the right structures to talk about them clearly, that's what makes people interesting. It's what makes conversations engaging. When you master this vocabulary of preference, you're not just describing what you do, you're actually articulating a part of who you are.